Hey everyone, it's Sharon coming at you from Beach Therapy Counseling Services. Happy Friday. I hope everyone's having an amazing week. And as usual, if you guys like the content of what you're hearing, please go ahead and subscribe at the end of this video and then go ahead and share it with those that you love and care about. So I want to get right into this topic because the first thing I want to say is that beach therapy has recently, or within the last 3 months or so, integrated some families as well as a few couples into my practice. And it has been nothing less than amazing for me and very eye opening. And I also feel like I've really seen a common thread, a few of them, throughout this practice. And I wanted to share one of them with you today. So bear with me as I go into this topic because there are going to be people that disagree with what I am saying, and I'm okay with that. But I have seen things going on in many families, most families that I work with, and just in life in general, that I just want to share this with you guys. And this is the idea behind a pecking order. So, in our society nowadays, we have this huge push towards equality and everybody's equal, and we need to treat everybody equal. And I have no issues with that on a broad sense. I do believe we are all created equal. I believe that we all should have equal rights and we should all be treated and loved equally. That's not what I'm getting to when I say the pecking order. The pecking order is narrowed into families, in my view. So, within your family dynamic, there is a pecking order, but I believe that we are taking this broader sense of this equality into our families and we are losing sight of the natural pecking order. And that's where a lot of our issues or cracks, as you will see on my social media, um, what I post on social media recently is just these cracks in our families. And you will see these cracks coming in because we are taking this big, broad idea of equality and placing it into our pecking orders. And the pecking order is such a natural thing that we are finding such a friction in between the two. So let me explain what I mean by pecking order first. And what I mean by pecking order is the head of the family starts the pecking order, right? So whether that head of the family is a mom and a dad, a single mom, a single dad, grandparents, aunts, uncles, foster parents, whoever that might be, there is a head of the family. And within that head of the family, we need to respect that they are the head of the family. So I see this now that I'm working with families is these parents, aunts, uncles, whoever is raising these children trying to be their friends, and it's not working, and there's a reason it's not working, and it's because just like you, because you have peers, right, and you have friends, and they aren't people that are 20 years younger than you or 30 years younger than you. They are your peers. Your children have friends as well, or they should, because those are the people that are supposed to be their friends, the people within their age group. Just like for you, people, or adults, obviously the age range can vary, but you get the idea of what I'm saying. If you are a 30-year-old, you're not necessarily friends with a 10-year-old. So you need to know your role in that family, and that is to show these little people what it looks like to be a good adult, to be a mature human. And that is our job. And a lot of times they're going to make mistakes because we all do. But our job as parents, as the head of the pecking order, is to show them what it is to pick up and what it is to make better choices. So when we are trying to be their friends, we aren't doing those role identities that we should be doing. So the first in the pecking order is always going to be the head of the household. And you need to keep yourself the head of the household. And if that means that they don't like you for a few days or they don't like you for a few moments in life, and that could be a whole season, that's the way it is. And it's because you love them and care about them and want to see them be awesome, amazing, productive human beings in the end. And that's why we choose to be their adult that they are going to be modeling. And then there's also this pecking order when it comes down to the children. So we all want to treat our children so equally, which is amazing because they are amazingly equal in so many ways. But within the family dynamic, they are not. And that's just the way it is. There's an oldest, there's a middle, there's a few middles maybe, and there's a youngest. And you need to allow your children to develop this natural progression of the pecking order. And so if you have an oldest sibling who wants to be a little more bossy, or who wants to be mothering, or who wants to be fathering, or whatever the dynamic might be, you need to allow them to do that. It doesn't mean that they are not equal to the other children in your home. It just means that they are the oldest sibling and kind of like an animal showing their dominance in within that dynamic. And I feel like the more we interrupt that natural progression, as long as it's safe, I'm not saying allow the oldest sibling or whoever it might be to beat up on the youngest and all of that. Obviously, as a parent and being the highest of the pecking order, you need to interrupt some of that. But I'm saying allow it to naturally progress, because the oldest is naturally going to be the leader and going to be maybe more bossy, and the youngest is going to be the baby, and they're going to be babied by you as well as the siblings and maybe picked on a little more. But that also helps develop some of that tough skin that they're meant to have. And so I do believe in the pecking order, and I think that many times we have this family friction because of this big idea that we have as a nation and as a people, that everybody's created equal, which is true, but I think we kind of place it in the wrong places within our lives. Because there are some places where, although we're equal, we all have different positions. And it's just like in a job, you have a boss and you have a secretary and you have the mailman. You have all these different positions within a big company. It's kind of the same idea. And we all have to answer to somebody. And within a family dynamic, it's the same thing. So I do believe in a natural pecking order, and I think that every family should probably really look at theirs and see how much they're interrupting it and take a step back, especially as the adults in the family, to see what we could be doing better and where we could kind of step aside and say, you know what, I don't need such a harsh input on this part of this. Let them figure it out. And I'm telling you, they will. Most times they will figure it out. But then there's other times, and that's where we come in. And we say, hey, this is unacceptable. And that's our jobs as parents. But it's not our jobs as parents to decide whose role is what, because there is a natural progression of that. So if that doesn't make sense to you, please go ahead and message me, ask me any questions you have. It's just something I have noticed within the family dynamic as I have worked with families now. And I love doing what I do, so I love sharing that with you guys. So as usual, if you have any questions, mybeachstherapy.net is where you can reach me. All my contact information is on there. Go ahead and have an amazing weekend. Bye, guys.